Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Reverend Cypher, and I am continuing in my controller reviews early in this channel as I am looking at here the G7 Pro controller, one of my probably most recommended controllers here if you are someone who is maybe new to PC gaming and or maybe you're playing on Xbox. I think this is still a great controller. And let's say you maybe like to play first-person shooters and you like other games as well, or if you're maybe getting into first-person shooters and you're kind of on a budget, I think this is maybe one of the best bang for your buck controllers for money-wise and gets you into competitive first-person shooter games at a great price point of $80. I've been playing with this controller since September. Now it's late January. It is one of my favorite controllers for competitive shooters. I do play with another controller, so this one is now my backup controller, but I love this controller. I'm looking forward to the next model that's been announced. So GameSir, if you're ever looking to maybe partner with someone, I'd love to review some of your other models as we can look at this controller and see what they have in store. Let's first, why do I like this controller so much and why do I recommend it so much? Well, first, what makes this controller great and ideal for a first-person shooter game is that it gives you 4 paddles or 4 remappable buttons. The buttons it gives you 2 paddles here on the back, a left button and a right paddle, and it also gives you 2 shoulder-mounted buttons up here. What that means is if you're a person like me, you can put a jump shot button on the back, drop shot button here, then up here on these shoulder buttons, you can maybe do switch weapon, reload weapon, or if you're playing on PC, because that's how I'm looking at this as someone who plays on PC, you can maybe put your push to talk button here, or maybe like your ping, or like instead of having to hit ping, like pinging a live enemy and playing Call of Duty or Warzone, you can do it up here with one of these buttons. So you can quickly go boom right there. Super duper convenient. Or even activate a kill streak. I've done that. You have the world is your oyster when it comes to this because the software lets you reprogram it to whatever you want. One of the things that's cool is this actual faceplate comes off. One thing that's cool is GameSir's wants to let you see the beautiful work they've done in their controller. And speaking of which, one of the things, I don't know how they can sell these controllers for $80 because they put TMR thumbsticks in this controller. TMR thumbsticks I suggest you look into if you want to be into first-person shooter games, as this is the greatest technology advancement for us who are worried about stick drift. Stick drift is when your controller basically starts moving on its own because it's basically worn out the thumbstick so much. TMR thumbsticks will not get stick drift, and they let you play with a really, really low dead zone. So that way you get an advantage in first-person shooter games like Call of Duty, Destiny, Halo, Fortnite, any kind of shooter game. This controller is going to give you an advantage because of these better thumbsticks. So I have pulled up here is Call of Duty. One of the nice things about Call of Duty is it has a built-in in-game tester. So let me switch off my, my mouse. So it has a dead zone tester. If you look at my dead zone settings, it's minimum is 1, my minimum is 2. That is not the default settings for this game. The default settings is much higher. It's between 10 and 15. The reason why is this game thinks that you have really bad controllers. So this is showing you 15. That means is you have to move your stick outside of that red dot for the game to realize you're moving. And what's good is it means it's all zeros here, but that means you lose precision movements. It means you have to move your stick further to get those movements, and it's not good. You want that as low as possible, but if you have a thumbsticks like those Xbox Series Elite controllers, some people have to put that circle so big because the controller wears out. That is not the case with this G7 Pro controller. You can put this down to 0 and you'll be fine. And you're gonna get -1, -2, just barely any movement, which is not a big deal on your left stick. And if it is, I always just run it on 1. That's what I run my controller on. And all zeros there. Look at that, all zeros. And the bigger one part where it matters more is even more is on the right stick. Because you can run this controller with those TMR thumbsticks so low, you get the most lively of your right stick, especially in Black Ops 7. Moving your right stick, it matters more because it makes the game think you're trying to aim. If you're trying to aim with your right stick, you're gonna get more aim assist in this game. You gotta try using your right stick more. And even if it gives you like 1-1 or something like that, that is perfectly acceptable in my opinion. Or if that's a big deal, you can turn this to 3. And that is, then you should get all zeros. Or, okay, 1-1. But either way, that is amazing. In my opinion, anything less than 5 on that right stick minimum is a perfectly serviceable controller. And I think I'm okay with 2. I'm okay with a little bit of right stick right now because I think it helps you in this game particularly because you want to be moving your right stick a little bit as it gives you more aim assist. But right now, what's going good for this controller so far is the buttons and the thumbsticks give you a huge advantage in first-person shooter games. Next, let's talk about the actual triggers. This controller has triggers that have 2 modes. It has clicky mouse click trigger mode, which is super duper convenient in Call of Duty because it lets you shoot faster. It lets you shoot your guns really fast because it's super duper clicky. I'm gonna put it up on mic. What that does is it means you're faster. You don't have to pull the trigger all the way. And then what it does too is it has a button here. You push this button. And if you're now, let's say you're no longer playing Call of Duty, you're playing like a racing game, you get your full trigger pull. And it still has like the feedback triggers, so you can, if you're playing like a game that you like the immersive feel of a game, you still have that if you value that. I don't particularly, but you still get that. Then you pop that controller back, boom, clicky mouse trick. Now you're back to like first person Call of Duty. So that is awesome, and it's clicky. I think that's way better than the Xbox Series Elite controller in that regard. You also get this amazing, it's like textured right here. I think you can see it pretty well here. I wish more controller companies did this. It's super nice so your finger doesn't slip. And it's even on these shoulder buttons, it's not as, you can't see it as well, but it's there, trust me. That is super nice. I like that. You also get a spot right here for it comes with a holder if you want to play wired. This controller, this model for $80 is wired only for the Xbox console. It is wireless on PC. I'm playing on PC right now. It comes with a wireless receiver, and it's been very reliable. And that gets me to my next point. This controller versus the Xbox. The Xbox Series Elite controller is capped at 125 Hz polling rate, meaning how fast this controller can talk to your PC. The Xbox Series Elite controller can only talk to your PC 125 times, and the same amount of time this can talk to your PC 1,000 times. It is like playing on night and day difference. Once you play with a controller that can pull 1,000, you'll never want to play with anything else. To show this, I have a software pulled up. Pulling 2. It's a great useful software to test controllers with. What it is, I have a Xbox 360 controller. This is an official licensed controller. That's why it has the Xbox circle there, or light up there, so you can test it. So we're going to put 2 in. So we're going to test it 4,000 times. And we're going to click left thumbstick. Or actually, let's make it right stick. It might be a little bit easier with my hands right now. And we're going to test it like this. So I'm going to hold it up. Ready? See the numbers pulling in. And boom. 1,000 average pulling speed. That is versus 125 on an Xbox Series Elite controller. 1,000 is a huge difference versus 125. That means this controller is, 10%, or, what? I can't do math. But 100% faster. It is so much, it's night and day difference once you've played with this controller. And this is, mind you, $80. Half the price of an Xbox Series Elite controller. And it comes with the paddles, comes with you don't have to buy any of the things extra. It comes with it, and it's way faster. Also, what's nice about this controller, on top of that faster pulling rate, is it comes with a pretty good software. If you look it up on my computer real quick, say we got GameSir Nexus. And it has a software. And in its software, it is way better than Xbox's software. In its software, you can connect it either wireless. I've had better luck wireless or wired versus wireless. I usually just plug it into my PC. But you can adjust your triggers, you can adjust your sticks, you can recalibrate your controller with the button tester button right here. So if you hold this, you can put your controller into calibrate mode. You can change up the profiles. Let me back out real quick. But you can change all that. What you can see here is my buttons. You can actually reprogram all the buttons on this controller. So like right now, oh, oops, that didn't work. But you can see how you can reprogram stuff here too. But the software is super duper useful. Thank you. You have 4 different profiles you can choose from if you want to change up the buttons. I only really use COD Warzone. But you can change it up, so if you want like a Warzone, then a regular storytelling game or a different game, you can change this all up. You can change the vibrations and stuff. I'm not a big fan of vibration packs or vibration controllers because I turn it off in all of my shooter games, but that's another thing. But, all right. That is the really, really good. What I'd want to see different for this controller and why it's maybe not my daily driver controller anymore is there's a couple different things. One, the D-pad, this D-pad's really good, but the other D-pads it comes with are kind of but like it doesn't matter to me. I'm not playing fighting games. I think fighting games this matters more, but one of the things is I don't really like the D-pad. It's just sometimes it feels a little cheap. So one thing I don't like about that, feels kind of cheap. Some other things I would like is I would like to see a controller version of this that pulls faster than 1,000. 125 to 1,000 is a huge, big game changer, especially for $80. I can't knock it for that. For $80, I can't be mad at it. But I have controllers that pull faster, and that is a night and day difference. And that being said, GameSir themselves are now just announced they're releasing a new version of this controller soon that will pull at 8,000. And that will put it in competition with my new favorite controller, the Razer 8K Wolverine V3. And I'll talk about this controller in a different video. But I would like to see this controller if it could pull faster. I'd also like to see the base model be able to connect to Xbox wirelessly. I'm going to show you here in a second on Amazon the different versions of this controller. The different versions can, but you have to pay a little bit more, which ain't a knock on it because they're $100, which is still a great price. But you do have to pay a little bit more. But I'm okay with that. I'd also like to see... I don't play with rumble packs. So like I'll talk about it here more in a moment. Like I can see keeping the vibration like for people that want to play first person shooters and normal games. Same thing with the feedback triggers. Like I just like the mouse click. I could see people who want to play like this controller for story games and Call of Duty. I'd like to see a model that doesn't have the triggers, like just has the mouse click triggers and maybe normal trigger mode, but I want this controller lighter. I like light controllers. And one of the ways to do that is remove that vibration rumble packs. I would like to see that. Oh, I forgot to say, I like the rubberized thumbsticks here. I like the rubber on these thumbsticks. They're better than most. I'd also like to see if there's a way to get 4 paddles. Like you do get 4 buttons, but like I'm gonna compare it again to the Razer Wolverine V3 because that's why I daily drive now. I get those 2 shoulder buttons, and I get 4 paddles. And like it took me a little bit to get used to it, man. It's hard. I get 6 extra buttons. It's hard to go back from that. That's super duper nice. And like I said, with this controller in wired mode, I get over 7,000 pulling rate. Even in wireless mode, this controller I have in wireless mode sometimes, I average over 6,000. That's hard to go back from. It sounds crazy, but it feels different versus 1,000. But like I said, this is on this controller. Like I said, I'd like it a little bit faster. I'd like a mode with one without rumble packs, and I would like 4 paddles. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Like maybe they have to put one a little higher. They might have to move it. I don't know. They'd have to figure. I don't know how they would design it. So that's up to them. I can live with 2 paddles though. I really, as long as I have a jump shot, drop shot, I'm okay. Because I can just quickly hit X. Because like the buttons are clicky. and they're super responsive, so I can live with it. But I'm just saying those are maybe the 2-3 things I would maybe improve: faster pulling rate, maybe extra paddles, and I would like to see a non-rumble pack version. But why do I recommend this controller? Why do I love it so much? Right here, $80 out the door, $80, and that gets you a, like I said, 1,000 pulling rate, TMR thumbstick with great triggers, and you can also play regular games on top of being in a Call of Duty. You can also connect this to PC, your Xbox. To connect this one into your Xbox, you have to play wired for Xbox though. That's the downside to this. Like I said, I'm coming at this as someone who plays PC, but you get TMR thumbsticks. You can pull out 1,000 rates. You can connect via Bluetooth to play your other devices. You get, like I said, different D-pads. You get that charging cable protector. It's a great controller. But $80, man, out the door. Hard to beat. Now, let's say you want a little bit better, or it does come in different colors. Like, I got the white one because that's the one I found. I wish I found this one. I like the red one. It has like red and black version now too. And these faceplates are swappable because you can actually take off these rubberized grips on the front. So you can actually, if you find the other G7 controllers, you can actually use their faceplates. You just have to lose the rubberized part on the front. I never switched it out. I actually thought about just painting the faceplate. My wife might paint my faceplate on my controller. But okay, let's say you want, like, if you're maybe on Xbox or you have a PC and Xbox. I know a lot of people have Xboxes and PCs, but you don't want to play with this in wired mode on the Xbox. Well, guess what? Boom. For $100, you can. Oh, right. Oh wait. Oh no, wait. Never mind. Is this one wired controller? Oh, never mind. Sorry, this is just another fancy paint job. Sorry, I'm one slide short. But yeah, still wired for Xbox. But another cool, super duper cool paint job, by the way. Like I said, GameSir, support your boy. Like, hit me up. It's a great looking controller. I like the color. But here we go. This is where it should be. They just released this one not too long ago, the Wu Chang edition. But this one is wireless controller for Xbox. So this one, if you have an Xbox and a PC, you can get wireless for both, which is super duper nice. It does only come in this color scheme for right now. Like I said, there's the white one I have, and there's that one. So $20, you get wireless on Xbox and wireless on PC. So you get a skin update and you get wireless. But they also produced this one. I would like to try this one out. I just wish it had that higher pulling rate. Yeah, it's still capped at 1,000. I'm guessing I would really like it because it still has a lot of the things I think that are positive about this controller. It is at $130, so it is still cheaper than the Xbox Series Elite controller, which is notable. But you're starting to approach a price point where I think there's other controllers you can buy. But if you go over here, you can look. Basically, this one is their Pro version, and you can get different thumbsticks for it. And you can swap out different thumbsticks for it. And that's kind of like the big difference between this and the $80 version. You also can connect the PC, or Xbox wireless still. Like, I would like to check out this controller. I don't have this one, but that one is available for $130. Like I said, that price point though, you're starting to get. I have some other competition you might need to worry about. And the only thing I don't like is that this one still has that. It still has the rumble packs in it. It still has, like I said, I would like to see one that's a little more aimed at competing against, for that first-person shooter space. Like I said, for $80, I'd probably just rather just get this one for $80. Or I wish they'd make the Wu Chang one here with just a regular faceplate for less. It's kind of because that, or make one that doesn't have this, for $100. Just make one that's basic more. But once you get to like $130, there's two other controllers you got to consider, and that's the ones I mentioned already. This one, the Wolverine V3 Wireless 8K. This is the controller I play with. For $200, you're getting close to this territory, and this one has the faster pulling rate, and you get the more paddles. And this one has, this is if you're only playing Call of Duty, though. If you're only playing Call of Duty, Destiny, Halo, you're playing games where you don't want rumble vibration, you don't want the fancy triggers, you're just trying to be the best of the best in a particular first-person shooter game, get this one. Or I just say get the wired one right now. I like being able to have wireless. It's worth the $100 for me. Is it for you? I've been playing wired lately. So like, I've been playing wired. So like, I'd maybe do this one for $95 if I had to choose again. But once you get to that $130 controller, these two controllers compete very heavily. So I think for $80, and if you're playing PC, or even if you're playing Xbox and you're okay with playing wired, if you have a setup that lets you, check out this controller, give GameSir a try. It is a great controller for the value. I have, like I said, thoroughly enjoyed this controller. It'll sit on my desk, and I will continue to hopefully look forward to their next release. I hope you guys can comment in the videos, give me some of your feedback and some of your thoughts. Like I said, welcome to the channel. Like I said, I hope to be able to start addressing after one more controller review as I look into reviewing the Razer Wolverine V3 and talking about this controller. But after that, I'd like to have some gameplay videos and maybe approach some theological topics and share from that. If you have any questions about this controller, any questions on theology, any suggestions for the channel, please leave a comment and or add me on Discord. We can have a discussion on there. I hope you're all doing well. God bless. May the Lord himself make himself known to you and your family. May his blessings and grace be upon you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. God bless. Bye.